Peace and salutations to the world. It's your man Anthony Mullen Jr. here from the Sports Hit List, and this is another edition of Proper Perspective. On this edition of Proper Perspective, I have my first and a special guest, my man, my brother, Mr. Mike Miller.
My man.
All the way from Michigan.
What's up?
How you doing, sir?
Oh, it feels great to be back
in the
Sports Hit List house, and now I'm on Proper Perspective. I can't wait.
Indeed, first guest.
Yes, sir.
Inaugural guest. You know, it had to be you. Why not?
I am honored.
Had to be you. I'm honored. You know, now that we got that out the way, let's get to the nitty gritty. You know, let's get to the, what we came here for.
Let's get to it.
And that is to talk about whether Stephen Curry is overrated or underrated. Now, let me start off. For years, I have been trying to preach to the choir, pun intended, about this guy, Stephen Curry, who's a very great player. But he's never been the best player in the league. He's not currently the best player in the league, and these are things he said, these are things fans say, and these are things I would like people to stop saying, especially since people don't keep the same energy of holding him to that standard when he doesn't perform like superstars and the best player in the league is supposed to perform. Unlike other superstars who get killed every time there's a chance to. So now, my brother, what do you have to say about that?
So much said there, and so much said there. So you acknowledge he's a great player, right?
Yes.
So what you're arguing, so you acknowledge he's a superstar?
Yes.
All right. So
well, unfortunately, I'm about to stop acknowledging him as a superstar because nobody else seems to acknowledge him as a superstar.
Okay.
Because they don't hold him to that standard when he has bad games. But go ahead.
Okay. So it sounds like to me, correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like your gripe is that allegedly he thinks he was the best player in the league.
Yes.
Even though, do you have actual evidence that he said that?
Yes.
When did he say, I'm the best player in the league?
And there's articles and plenty of interviews where he said, yes, I feel I'm the best player in the league, and this is during all of the hype, of course, winning MVPs.
Back-to-back.
Yes.
No, make sure you tell the people.
Back-to-back unanimous MVP.
Aha.
The only unanimous MVP. Right, I see that. Yeah, right.
After champion, right? So he wins a championship.
Yes.
And he wins a back-to-back MVP. So in that 2-year stretch, how can he not be considered the best player in the league?
Well, let's look at the evidence.
Sure.
When it was time for him to be the best, let's say this. The best player in the league, for one, is always the best player in, let's say, the game. It can't be every game because players have bad games. Can't be every game. Some players, play better. But for the most part, and then especially in the playoffs, just about every series.
Sure.
And things like that. And the finals, definitely the finals.
Sure.
And so now let's get to that.
Yes.
He was not, when it was time to show I am the best player, he was not that in what was his first championship, 2015.
He showed that.
He did not show he was the best player.
Of course he did.
He did not show he was the best player.
Based on what?
Based on, first, LeBron, the best player in that series, should have, for one, been the second player to be on a losing team and get the Finals MVP like Jerry West.
He lost.
Not gonna go there.
And
he lost. Okay. And then Steph being on the winning team, usually the best player on the winning team or the best player in the series on the winning team gets the final MVP.
Does that always happen?
Who was the Finals MVP? Excuse me.
Andre Iguodala.
Okay.
Does that mean Steph didn't play as a superstar and the best player?
Yes, because the best player gets Finals MVP.
I love it. We argued this before.
We did.
So the problem I think you're having is that you're just they can only give Finals MVP to one player. Let me give you a scenario.
Right.
So let's say two players in a finals, right? One player's averaging 30, The other player is averaging 28. The player that averaged 30 gets Finals MVP. Does that mean that the player that averaged 28 was less than the best player or less than superstar quality?
He was not the best player in the series.
Does that mean he was less superstar quality?
No, but he was not the best player in the series.
How about if one player averages 26, another player averages 18?
Cool. Right.
So how do we determine best player in the series?
I'm gonna tell you why, because you're going by averages
No.
instead of doing what I think would happen.
Going by impact.
No, exactly.
Impact.
And what I think would happen is that's why Steph didn't have that impact of best player. Steph didn't even make his presence known, and that's everybody was talking about how great LeBron was playing.
Oh. Look,
and then hold on, and then let me bring up also it went 6 games.
It went 6 games. Who was up 2-1?
How?
So they were up 2.
Even that. How is the unanimous MVP up?
Hey guys.
How is the unanimous MVP even down on a team stacked? Who the next year that team went on to win 70? What was it? 73-9.
That's not.
Went on to win 73-9. How do you be on that team? Go against a team without their second and third best player. Without their second and third best player.
Did they win?
And their best player takes your team to 6 games.
Did they win?
Yeah.
So who cares? They won.
History
so it doesn't
cares.
matter. No, history doesn't.
Because he didn't prove himself.
No, they won.
He didn't get Finals MVP.
That doesn't mean he.
It does.
So when James Worthy won Finals MVP, Magic automatically wasn't the best player on the team.
No, Magic just wasn't the best player in that series.
But was he the best player on the team?
He wasn't. No. Yes.
Steph was the best player on the team, correct?
Yes.
Did Steph play to his level that he was?
No, which is why he didn't get Finals
That's
MVP.
Not true.
That's why he didn't.
So here's the difference.
Right.
There's what the media voted and what actually happened. So I'll go with what actually happened, which means the measurables.
Right.
Not what media voted. The measurables said Stephen Curry not only played to his regular season level, he exceeded it.
Okay.
That's what the actual facts are.
Okay.
Because he didn't get a vote does not take away the facts.
And let me give you these facts in summation. Okay? You want to give me averages, I like totality. So
I gave you totality.
Being that I like totality, I'm going to go game by game. I believe the first game, Steph had 26. The second game, I believe, that's the game they lost. He had a bad game, and Clay had about 30-something.
Sure.
Or whatever the case. So that put Clay there.
Sure.
Okay, the next game, I believe he had 26 again.
Sure.
And then he dropped down to another bad game. Game 6, from 4 to 6, other players like Andre Iguodala and other players like Draymond Green with his triple-double, other players made it so we weren't talking about Steph, which is why he didn't win Finals MVP.
You're arguing 2 points. What you're arguing is that the Warriors as a team are not solely reliant on Stephen Curry. That does not argue against what Stephen Curry's contribution is. And this is the problem the Warriors...
I'm not talking about his contribution.
No, but this is what the problem everyone has when they analyze the Warriors.
He has a standard of unanimous MVP to live up to.
Okay, so in that year, we did this before. In that year, again, we're talking facts, not what people voted. In that year, the standard said that he averaged what? And then his...
average was above in the finals.
In his finals, his production matched and exceeded.
But what do you always like to say?
Yeah.
Your moment. Where was your moment? Remember when you asked me that about Chris Paul?
Remember that moment?
No.
Here, I'll tell you
that 34-point game?
I'll tell you that moment.
What was
that moment where between game 1 and 3, everyone kept saying, Delhi, 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 Delhi. What happened from game 4 to the series ended? We no longer talked about Delhi. Why is that?
Because
Steph started cooking him.
They were winning, but he wasn't necessarily cooking.
No, it's not necessarily.
He wasn't necessarily cooking.
I told you through the last 3 games, he averaged 28 points on 47% shooting.
This is how
he was cooking him.
All right.
That's facts. We can't argue those facts anymore.
We're going to let the people decide.
The people can decide it.
So, what do you guys say?
The people can decide between
about
facts
Steph Curry.
and emotions.
Is he the best player or is he not?